Hello, good afternoon, all of you, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I am going to represent therapeutic drug monitoring. So, let's start. So, we will discuss contents of therapeutic drug monitoring. Need of therapeutic drug monitoring, indications, factor affecting sources of pharmacokinetic variations, factor affecting interpretations, various classes of drugs, use of pharmacokinetic studies, and therapeutic drug monitoring technologies. So let's start one by one. Why therapeutic drug monitoring is important? Okay, so certain drugs have a narrow therapeutic range. In concentration above the upper limit of the range, the drug can be toxic. In concentrations below the lower limit, the drug can be ineffective. Not all patients have the same response at a similar doses. Indications for therapeutic drug monitoring testing. Drug efficacy difficult to establish clinically. Suspected toxicity. Inadequate therapeutic response. Compliance concern. Dosage change. Change in patient's clinical state. Change in co-medications. This means quinidine decreases digoxin clearance. This is the example for the change in co-medications. Manifestation of toxicity and disease state are similar. For example, theophylline. Okay. Next, factor that affect the results. Many factors contribute to the production of an accurate and meaningful drug level measurement. In that, pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics, dose, sampling time, testing methodology, genetic polymorphs. The next, major sources of pharmacokinetic variability. In that, first one is patient compliance. Second one, age. In that, neonates, children, elder, etc. Physiology, gender and pregnancy. Disease includes hepatic, renal, cardiovascular, respiratory. Now next one is drug to drug interaction. Environmental influences. Okay, these all are the major factors that affects on TDM. Okay, this is the graph which shows the health organs in case of renal failure. Comparative study for gentamicin metabolism. Okay, gentamicin metabolism. This graph shows the dose of gentamicin with respect to their changes within the body. Okay. After that, factor that affect the interpretation. In that, protein binding. Protein binding is a major aspects that affect on the um, health of the patient. Therapeutic drug monitoring assays typically require serum or plasma and usually measure both the bound and unbound drug. This is not an issue unless the patient binding capacity is altered due to the disease state, drug interaction or nonlinear binding. In such cases, the effect of the protein binding needs to be taken into consideration when interpreting results. Okay. After that, active metabolites. Many therapeutic drug metabolites, though not measured, contribute to drugs therapeutic response. For example, primidone treatment is monitored by measuring phenobarbital, an active metabolite. Okay, in contrast with the primidone treatment, we measure the phenobarbital as an active metabolite. Steady state. Steady state is defined as the point at which drug intake and elimination reach an equilibrium. Steady state is reached after 5 to 6 half-lives of the drugs. Okay, steady state reach after 5 to 6 half-lives of the drug. The goal of therapeutic drug monitoring is to optimize the drug dose so the patient drug's concentration remain within the therapeutic range for the drug. This is the graph which shows the relationship between daily dose of phenytoin and resulting steady state serum level in a 5 patients on a several different doses of drug. Okay, we observe phenytoin dose on the different 5 patients regularly. Uh, okay, and next, turnaround time. Okay, turnaround time is also important to ensure that the physician has time to evaluate the result before the patient is scheduled to receive his next dose. Okay, for most therapeutic drugs this is not an issue, as assays for the most commonly tested analytes are available on several fully automated analyzers. However, for drugs without commercially available assays, highly specialized chromatographic and ultrafiltration assays are used. Okay, so there are several classes which are monitored to ensure correct blood concentrations. Okay, in that first one, anti-epileptics, anti-arrhythmetics, antibiotics, anti-neoplastics, anti-manics, bronchodilators, immunosuppressives. Okay, these are the commonly classes of monitored. Then in that first, anti-epileptics. So in that drug is carbamazepine. Carbamazepine. Indications of that used to treat the psychomotor seizure, tonic-clonic seizures, and mixed seizures. And the therapeutic range of this carbamazepine is 4 to 10 microgram per ml. Okay. After that, ethosuximide, if effective means of preventing absence means the petit mal seizures. Okay. In the therapeutic ranges is 10 to 150 microgram per ml. As like that, all these are the examples for the anti-epileptics: primidone, phenobarbital, phenytoin, valproic acid. And the ranges of dose differs from each other. After that, anti-arrhythmetics. In that there are 4 class of anti-arrhythmetic drugs, we all of you know. Class 1, which blocks the sodium current channel, and second, which blocks the effect of catecholamines. Class third, prolong the action potential, hence the refractoriness by blocking potassium channel. Class 4, block the cardiac calcium. Okay, that first one is digitoxin, used to improve cardiac contraction in a congestive heart failure and to correct the supraventricular tachycardia, and the therapeutic range for this is 10 to 30 nanogram per ml. Okay, as like that, same antibiotics. Next, antineoplastic, antiminics. Now next is bronchodilators. In that example, well-known example, caffeine and theophylline. Then immunosuppressives. Immunosuppressives includes cyclosporine, mycophenolic, tacrolimus. All that are the example and their indications with that. Now, pharmacokinetics is the study of what the body does to the drug after administration. As we all of us know, it is divided into 4 categories: absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretions. Absorption. Absorption refers to the ability and process of a dosage reaching to the bloodstream. There are different routes of drug administration, and there are the followings. Means the absorption is a process which involves the dosage reaching to the bloodstream after administration of drug. And the administration processes through the different routes are oral route, intramuscular route, subcutaneous route, rectal route, transdermal route, intravenous route. Okay, so the rate of absorption is depends upon route used for the administration. Okay, The rate of absorption and the extent of absorption are dependent on the various factors such as drug formulation, dose, route of administration, and frequency of administration. Now, second factor is distribution. The volume in which the drug is distributed is a product of the drug's dose divided by the plasma concentration. Okay, so Vd is the volume of distribution. Volume of distribution is equal to dose upon plasma concentration. The distribution phase represents the early period in the dose or time curve when the drug is being circulated in the blood throughout the body and into the body fluids, organs, and tissues. Volume of distribution is directly related to the half-life of the drug. This point is important. Okay, this this volume of distribution is directly related to the half-life of the drug. A drug with a large volume of distribution gives a similar clearance rate and have a longer period of half-life. And next one is a metabolism. Metabolism occurs in the liver, as we all of us know, and also in the GI tract. Most of the metabolism takes place through the liver, and some of the GI tract, and then some of through the kidney, etc. Metabolism is the process in which the body breaks down and converts the drug into the active chemical substances. In addition, drug metabolites can be neither protein bound or the inactive, or free means it is an active. The drug dosage will depends on how the drug metabolizes, means the drug dosage will depends upon how the drug get metabolized. Factors that impact drug metabolism includes genetic, environment, and nutrition, and age factors. Now last one is a excretion. Drug excretion from the body occurs through the kidneys or fluid excreted through the lungs, GI tract, or skin. Renal dysfunction reduces drug clearance and may contribute to the drug accumulation and increased risk of adverse drug effect. Most of the part of drug means I can say 50 to 60% of part of the drug can excrete through the kidney. Use of pharmacokinetic studies. Pharmacokinetic studies performed to examine absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion of drug. Therapeutic drug monitoring and pharmacokinetic study help the physician provide optimum care by helping the physician initiate therapy to achieve the maximum therapeutic effect for the patient in the shortest amount of time, minimizing the risk of drug toxicity. This is the main purpose, maximizing the risk of drug toxicity. Next one, help in determination and evaluation of loading dose. The loading dose is a large amount of drug which is administered over a short period of time to quickly move the patient's serum drug concentration towards a level that will achieve desired patient response. So next one, another dosing is needed to maintain the patient's serum drug concentration. The maintenance dose is the amount of the drug and the dose frequency needed to achieve a steady state at a desired therapeutic concentration. Therapy is achieved when the desired effect is attained because the required concentration has been reached. That concentration would set the lower limit of utility of the drug called the minimum effective concentration. Okay, as like that, as opposite to that, maximum effective concentration. And next one is a therapeutic range. This is the plot for the plasma drug concentration versus time. This is the toxic level, maximum level. This is the minimum therapeutic range and subtherapeutic level. This is graph for the steady state time, concentration versus time, means the multiples of elimination of half times. Next one, therapeutic dose monitoring technologies. There are different technologies which are used for the monitoring. In that, first one is HPLC. HPLC means the high pressure liquid chromatography is a common analytical method used to measure the therapeutic drug level prior to the advent of immunoassays. There are different applications of HPLC. Out of that, this one is the most important for the analysis of drug monitoring. Now, second is a gas liquid chromatography is a separation method using a very high temperature to cause sample vaporization. In mass spectroscopy, the vaporized fraction are passed through an electrical field. The molecules can be separated on the basis of molecular weight. Okay. The pattern of separation is unique to each drug and therefore establish a fingerprint for identification. Okay. Then liquid chromatography, mass spectroscopy, these are also the uh, technical balances which are used for the analysis of TDM. Okay. Then EIA or enzyme immunoassay. Enzyme immunoassay uses a non-radioactive enzyme label. Most of the drug testing today is performed using homogeneous EIA techniques. This refers to the fact that the assays are performed in a single step. That is, means only one antibody is used in a procedure. Okay. Therefore, the turnaround time for testing is reduced. Then next one, EMIT. EMIT means enzyme multiple immunoassay technique. This technology is based on the competition for the target analyte antibody binding sites. Okay. The next one is FPIA, fluorescence polarization immunoassay. This method uses a fluorescent molecule as the label instead of an enzyme, making it more sensitive. Okay. Now last one is CDA, cloned enzyme donor immunoassay. CDA employs a recombinant DNA technology. Thank you so much. So this information regarding the therapeutic drug monitoring. Thank you for your patience listening.